What's up, YouTube? What's up? So, I'm going to talk about my most disappointing NBA teams this year. Where do I start? Phoenix is at the top. So much for that trio of Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker. What a nightmare. And Mike Budenholzer, a winning a championship head coach, and they stunk. They couldn't even win 40 games. They didn't even make play-in tournament. What a joke. What happened to Devin Booker? Where did he go? He hasn't been really seen since 2021. Stat padding and moving in position, but nothing. And Bradley Beal, Mister, if I had been healthy, we would have won 60 games last year. Yeah, okay. You barely won half of that this year. Mike Budenholzer, you went from Atlanta, you got fired. You went to Milwaukee, won the chip, you got fired. You come to Phoenix, you about to get fired. What an embarrassment. You get through of two coaches who are championship coaches and Frank Vogel and Mike Budenholzer, and they both can't seem to deal with Kevin Durant and the divaosity. What an embarrassment. What a travesty. What a waste. Then we get to the Philadelphia 76ers. Joel Embiid, Mr. Process. Dude, you didn't even spell the word process. I didn't even remember when you played. Didn't hardly play, sat this year out. Nick Nurse, you came to Philly. You thought championship pedigree. Oh man, you played lottery pedigree. What an embarrassment. And pandemic Paul George, man, you spent more time on the podcast and streams and clicks than you did putting points up. Oh man, what an embarrassment. Tyrese Maxey, it even rubbed off on him who was balling, but they stunk. I mean, they just fell off and was a never was. What a huge disappointment. So those are two teams. The other teams that comes across, so I'm gonna say the Milwaukee Bucks. Damian Lillard with thoughts and prayers with him, with it, what he's dealing with his in himself, but it just ain't really work with Giannis. Giannis is being wasted. Giannis is in a situation, and they still got almost 50 wins, and they didn't even play to their potential. But Doc Rivers doing Doc Rivers things. For as great as Giannis is, they're not even considered really the third best team in the East. And it's Boston and Cleveland and somebody, maybe New York. That's a shame. That's what has happened to a guy that was only a few years ago, that like he was taking over the league and he was on doing things and multiple league MVP. But that team then fell off, and losing Drew Holiday, who went to Boston and won a chip last year, not good. Milwaukee, not good. So that is pretty much something that's big in itself right there. So that's another disappointing team. Other disappointing team, the Sacramento Kings. Yeah. And De'Aaron Fox was somebody I really thought a lot of, but he was in diva mode, stunk it up. Now he's playing in San Antonio. So they're in lottery land, him and Victor Wembanyama. We'll see how that turn out. But Mike Brown got let go. Doodoo Brown was gone. Sabonis, who's a bad dude, double double, but they don't play no defense. And bringing DeMar DeRozan, who really, I don't know what he do with your team. He can score a lot, but what else can he do? Now you got Zach Levine, you got half of Chicago with you, and I don't know what to say about them. I mean, Sacramento is a huge disappointment. I mean, I thought they were going to take a turn up. They fell off. Memphis Grizzlies. I like John Morant. They win with him. They win without him. They got rid of their coach. They don't have any life, and I have to put them in this pile because they should be better than what they are, and they just not really doing anything. They just look like a waste. It's like it just fell off before it had a chance. It's good in theory, and yes, they'll make the playoffs, but they're not a team that you expect much from. Jaws antics and what's going on in the sideshow is getting more than the actual game. And they got guys on that team with defensive specialists and talent, but they're not delivering. They've underachieved madly. The Miami Heat, I like Coach Eric Spoelstra, but that whole thing with Pat Riley and Jimmy Butler wrecked the season. They looked good at once upon a time, and then the wheels came off. And after Jimmy Butler left, they got Andrew Wiggins. They are just in disarray. Tyler Hero's looking like 8 miles, so sometimes he's up, sometimes he's down, but they don't have that true leader, and it shows. I like Bam Adebayo a whole lot, but they need that alpha dude that puts these guys in place. Heat culture took a major L, and they're ghostly right now, and they don't look so well. So they are a team that I would definitely say. Other teams, I'd say the Chicago Bulls. Yeah, Josh Giddey, once he got through the Diddy Diddy and now the Funny and Kobe White, but they're not consistent. They score all them points. They should be better than just being a lucky playing tournament team. That's embarrassing because a team like Detroit came along and passed them by. They should be way better than what they are taught, what their record says. That's embarrassing. For that, what they got, that's embarrassing. Okay, and who else would I say in the West that I want to pick on, that I would pick on, that I would say that's kind of, to me, didn't get. Well, New Orleans is always the same old. Zion Williamson be just eating up all the budget, eat up all the money, underachieves, gives you like 2 games every month, but he just doesn't stay mentally in shape. Physically, he's getting in. Mentally, he ain't. And they didn't, I mean, Brandon Ingram left. I mean, they're basically an auction block team. So that's a waste. And he is a waste right now. So I look at them as huge disappointments. To be honest with you, well, a lot of them teams in the NBA are huge disappointments, to be honest with you. This is why people crap on the league so much and this is so bad because a lot of these teams are half hearted, don't play, and don't bring nothing, you know. Teams that are also close to being in this, but not quite, is the Knicks. Thibodeau be burning and burning energy, brought Cat in, and they thought Carl-Anthony Towns was going to save the day to an extent, but Brunson getting ran down. They got a good record, but they're not what was expected. They are a distant in the fall third, and everybody wants to play them in the first round. Put it to you like this: they're not in Boston and Cleveland's class. So being third or fourth, they are disappointed because there was a little bit more expectation for them after how far they got last year. It doesn't look that good this year. I would say Minnesota too, because Edwards, he's coming on lately, not consistent, and they are disappointed because with the when you get when you got rid of Cat and Julius Randle's a replacement, I don't know if they got any better. And it'll be a disappointment if they don't get 3 rounds deep because Ant is definitely on the clock of people are looking forward to being that dude, that face of the league. So it is a disappointment if they don't reach. Obviously, we're going to say the Dallas Mavericks because they traded Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis, but they've had injuries and they've been a step off. So I can't really find it until I see how everybody comes together. We'll leave that with an asterisk for now. I'm going to be fair about when I look around. I'm going to see. Borderline Indiana Pacers, I think they took a step a little bit back. We're going to see what happens in the postseason, but Detroit looks like how they looked last year, this year. I'm not sold on the Pacers. I think it's going to be disappointing because I think they get into Eastern Conference Finals that they got to act like they're hungry, and they still look like they're a little light in the truth right now, so I'm not sure what Rick Carlisle going to get them. I say the San Antonio Spurs because Victor Wemby or not, they should not have folded that bad. And they kind of folded like a chair. Now they're playing for like ping pongs again. So I'm like, I understand what prayers and thoughts of a great Popovich, but that team kind of did underachieve. And they got CP3 and he's pushing like 85. So right there when you get an old guard and what you doing. They win a few games here and there, but they are definitely not a threat the way they should be. So I would tell you in all honesty, if I'm even teams that have got winning records or something, I still got fault with some of them. So I say it's a good 20 teams I'd say had disappointing seasons. It's the obvious ones. The obvious ones are Phoenix, Philadelphia. Those are the obvious ones. Sacramento's obvious to me as well. And Miami. Those are the 4 obvious ones. Those are obvious teams I'd be disappointed with. I expect a lot of movement, a lot of shakeup, we'll see what happens in the all season. Because there's too much talent that ain't going far. Some of the teams need to go ahead and retire and get out while they can too and save face, i.e. Kevin Durant, possibly Kawhi Leonard, possibly, that's the cast and Paul George too. You should probably consider getting into your next way of making a living because basketball clearly ain't your main thing. We'll see what happens with Kawhi though, but usually you can see the changing of the guards. Anyway, let me know who you think are the most disappointing NBA teams this year, and we can discuss it. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. Share it if you like, and hit that membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. The season is over on Sunday, but I decided to jump this, and I wanted to speak out on it because it was quite an interesting year, to say the least. And some teams definitely disappointed, especially when they should have done better than what they did. All right, I'm out.